Hey, what's going on, everyone? John here with FMP Wargamers, and it's our Tuesday show, and it is going to be a bit salty, and not in a good way. Well, depending on what you consider salty and in a good way. Um, just getting a couple last minute things set up here to make sure what you are seeing, or what I'm basically having my phone show the show in the background so I can make sure that everything is working. Some people mentioned last time, hey, your phone or your volume was down, it wasn't up or whatever. So, oops, sorry about the lighting. I just burnt out my bulbs overhead, so I have to use my little painting light here to pretty much have some sort of light here until I can go get some light bulbs after the show. So, what are we going to talk about today? A lot of stuff. And when I say salty, I don't mean like super angry, salty stuff. I am talking about salty, salty rumors. We've got some really salty ones and some interesting confirmation information that's out there. I was very, very happy about that. A big shout out to the sources. I swear I'm going to get you guys some food and drinks, as I've said. And maybe somebody's going to correct me in the future. Bangers and mash, or fish and chips, or McDonald's, whatever it is that you want. Ideally, I'm going to take you all out to a very, very awesome dinner. Maybe even treat, your significant others and everything when I do come to the UK next year, which is either going to be the end of April, going into May, and that's when I will visit our Holy Land, that is Warhammer World, and or I will be doing it in October when it's nice and cool, which I really would prefer because I like the cold. And either way, I'm coming, and get ready for at least another meet and greet so we can see each other again and just show my appreciation. So, what am I going to go over? Let us get at least something up that looks cool on the screen so you don't see my ugly graphics on when I was looking at my notes from earlier. So, pretty cool, pretty cool. Lots of awesome stuff coming. All right, so we're going to talk about the Deep Dark Rumor Mill, which is probably very similar to the Deep Net, or the Dark Net. That's something that the media and parents like to go around. Oh my God, it's on the dark net. So scary. The dark net is the internet, guys, and it's just you have to find the forums within the chat groups to get to all that stuff. But I do not encourage you to go look for anything down there. And I'm not talking about that sort of deep, dark rumor mill stuff. I'm talking just some really janky, very salty rumors that they may or may not come to pass. Some of that information that these individuals have passed to me recently or in the past few months has become true. So awesome sauce, something I really appreciate. And then that basically covers Eldar and Dark Eldar stuff. Now, what I should have put in that title is something I was putting together today as I was finally reading my copy of the Psychic Awakening, which for all the hype for the book, I was a little upset with the amount of pages of material, not gaming material, but lore. This is the opening salvo for this massive galaxy-shattering campaign, or lore changing, and it was maybe like 20 pages, and it wasn't even like full on 20 pages of text. I'm a little disappointed in the amount of content. I'm not disappointed in the content. The content they provided was pretty good, but they needed to back off of the gallery of miniatures and delve a little bit more into the actual individual, or the actual story. But we're going to cover that first. Let's go ahead and get into that, because it's got some juicy things in it that I really think you guys need to be paying attention to. Let me pull up another window here. Now, if you have not been paying attention to Psychic Awakening, you can go to the Psychic Awakening page. That's actually what I'm doing now. I don't know why I got to double click. I'm going to highly recommend that you do, because not everything in the Psychic Awakening books is going to, or not everything they've talked about is going to be in those books. They're doing a very clever marketing campaign here. So we got their map. Ooh, awesome. Somewhat interactive map. But not too much interaction. But you can click on the different things. It'll pull up articles, whatever the video was. And all of a sudden now you cannot click on the psychic anomaly detected near Terra. But as I mentioned on Sunday, this involves Sisters of Battle, White Scars, Salamanders, Black Templars, Astra Militarum, World Eaters, Iron Warriors, Emperor's Children, Word Bearers, and I believe, Night Lords. So all those factions are going to somehow be involved. Are they all going to get something? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. So I watched a couple of my favorite people that do some reviews, high quality shows. They've been in this for quite some time. They've been in a little bit longer than me, but we appear to share the same sources. So shout out to Chapter Master Valric and Kirioth. Thank you guys for doing your shows, and it helped shore up the information I had. In fact, some of your information I just kind of tweaked in there. That's why I'm giving you guys a shout out. Thank you very much. I wanted to at least get you guys the props. And before I delve into that, if you are a news leak source like Spiky Bits or Bell of Lost Souls, Chapter Master Valor, Kirioth, ourselves, do everybody a favor and show courtesy in at least acknowledging, hey, I got this information from so-and-so, or this helps confirm some information that so-and-so was talking about. Give them mad props. Spiky Bits is at least courteous enough to do that. Chapter Master Valric and Kirioth, I believe, have in the past, and I have also. There's a number of sources out there that are trying to get into this field. So just make sure that if you're citing one of us, because you don't have the source, but you want to use us as the source, our source from us. Basically, if you want to be in that pipeline without talking to us, at least give us the credit. It's something it's a courtesy. So what am I going to talk about here with this? Pay attention to Psychic Awakening, all these little short stories that they've been putting in here, because it is revealing little bits of information and at least giving you a picture or a wider picture of what's going on. So what is it that I have? I'm going to move this out of the way so you guys have a nice picture here and don't see my ugly Google Doc. I didn't decorate it or make it look fancy. Plus, I don't want you to see the address, the URL. All right, excuse me. Take a drink here before I dive into this. All right, I might have the page numbers flipped around here. Yes, I agree, Ski. I love seeing your AOS stuff. I want to keep it there because, in fact, we're going to take this one step further. Let's find us a cool picture. Yeah, Yeah, that right there. That's me, my dead soulless body passing on information to you guys. Yes, it is a very beautiful model. If you guys are not aware, this is one of the new models that's coming out in the Feast of Bone, I believe. Is that right, Ski? Feast of Bone for the OCR Bone Reapers. So really cool. I think you can only get this one in the box, but I don't want to step on. I think Ski might have already covered it yesterday, but I don't want to step on his toes. The first leaker. Yes. All right. So if you have the Psychic Awakening 2, you may have glazed over a couple little bits of information. Some you might not even have been aware it has significance. So I'm going to share these things that have significance. So I believe it's page either 14 or 24, 22. There's two segments that I'm going to talk about. and I don't remember which one is on which. I want to say the one I'm about ready to start into is around page 24, 22 ish in the lore. I'm not going to show you guys the picture, even with the screenshot, because I'm afraid GW will be like, oh, you're copywriting and we're going to sue you and, fish shaking stuff there. So on that page, I'm going to talk about there's a character in this story, and this is part of the Psychic Awakening 2. This is not one of the little short stories. This is in the book. So this is going to be playing into Psychic Awakening 2. So bowing his head and resting his forehead upon the pommel of the Sword of Silent Screams, so that's the Visarch, he spoke of two exceptional individuals who sought audience with Yervain. She's pretty much the spiritual leader of the Inari. One was a handsome Eldari with two long blades upon his back, which could very well be Drazar. I mean, he is Eldari. I believe even the Dark Eldar are still called... Oh, no, they're called Drukari. Never mind. I'm not sure who that could be then. And then the other, a human female... Follow me on this. A human female in black power armor whose hair... Okay, I don't have any hair. But whose hair was a shock of white. The latter, which was her, was possessed of a psychic aura so powerful it stung the mind. Years ago, I'm going to see if I can pull this up. There was a little bit of information out there. In fact, there was a miniature of this graphic novel that they did. And I'm trying to pull... there we go. Perfect. I'm not going to pull it up on the screen. Actually, I can pull this up the screen. I'm going to pull this up here, and you guys can see this picture. Sorry, got to pull off the Osiarch Bone Reaper. But look at this. What do we have here? Sorry, I wouldn't have gone to D4chan, but that's just the first link that popped up, and I wasn't intending to show you guys that link anyways. So, what is this? A character from years ago that was in a graphic novel, and I'm not going to go into how she got the powers, who she fought against, and who she fought for, but this was a Sister of Battle. I can never pronounce her name. Ephriel Stern. And she was a Sister of Battle, loyalist, 100%. So don't get all, oh my gosh, she got psychic powers, and that means she's evil, because they don't have it. No, there's actually a story there, ladies and gents, so deal with it. Anyway, so what do we have here? A human female in black power armor whose hair was a shock of white. The latter was she was possessed of a psychic aura so powerful it stung the mind. This was out of Psychic Awakening 2, not this picture, but that little text I just read. Ladies and gents, we have full acknowledgement that she is still alive, that Stern is not dead, and that she is involved in some fashion in the Psychic Awakening. Does this mean that we're going to see her in Psychic Awakening 2? I think in a way, yes. Well, are we going to see her miniature again? Which she did have a miniature before. I'll get into that. But does that mean we're going to see her miniature in this next round? It's possible. It's fully possible. Hey, Sisters of Battle players, you guys just got your brand new codex with all this awesomeness. And you know what? Because we love you so much, it's the end of November, sometime in December. We're going to go and give you Psychic Awakening 2 with some extra stuff and Stern. Different Stern. And your Sisters of Battle now have psychic abilities. Maybe. Or she might be kind of like one of those, what do you call them? Agents of the Imperium. So is it happening 100%? No. But is she brought up in the lore, the current modern day lore? Yes. This isn't like, oh, we remember her when she was, decade ago or hundreds of years ago. No, this just happened. Well, in the realm of Psychic Awakening, just happened. So Stern is alive, and the Ynnari know of her. And it looks like they're all going to be involved in this together. So I'm thinking we're going to at least get some more stories of her. It could be short stories online, so watch for that, ladies and gents. And or we might also see her pop up in the next book, the next Psychic Awakening, which, originally we were predicting, January, but now it looks like it's going to go every other month. So end of November, beginning of December, it looks like that's when it's going to arrive. Now, the next part is really juicy information. Apparently, I cannot spell traitor. Sorry, my own thing here. So I'm going to talk about the Grand Cacophony. And what is that? That sounds, something like Howling Banshees. No. Grand Cacophony was just a name of the foot soldiers of Slaanesh. That was mentioned also in Psychic Awakening 2, in case you missed it. It was in one of the little sidebars. I can't show you the text, but I'm just going to tell you that I'm just going to read parts of it to you. And I'm just going to read snippets because I don't want to read this whole thing and bore the hell out of you. So let's see here. The Eldari's cursed Xenotech proved effective against the foot soldiers of the Grand Cacophony. Even the hissing streams of discs released from their blah blah blah. They're basically talking about their shuriken weapons somehow cut through the ceramite armor of the traitor host, where the humans' las guns failed, which is weird because I'm pretty sure the regimental standard and the Imperial Guardsmen or infantrymen's primer says that the las guns are extremely powerful. So the reason why it couldn't penetrate ceramite armor, I'm not sure. Whatever. Sorry. And they're talking about the Notum Psychana. I don't know what that is. That's going to require some information delving or data mining. Then they say, then came the Screaming Serpent. Vast it was, its wings blocking out the sky. Its 3 swords cut men in half with each sweep. Its whip hand simply beckoned, and I watched in horror as the stormtroopers engaged in it fell to their knees, then toppled face first into the mud. What that hated thing was, I can only guess, but it haunts my every waking moment. Something in my gut tells me I witnessed nothing less than redacted. So, since Dark Imperium dropped, we have got snippets of, let me see if I can pull up his image. We've got snippets of Fulgrim popping up in the warp. And we've known that for the longest time, Fulgrim has been a demon prince and serpent body, multiple arms. He has lots of wings, very scary. Ooh. And we know that he has been on his way to finally get involved in the 40K universe, like full-heartedly. I'm going to show a picture. Yeah, this could do. See if I can pull this picture up here. And this picture is basically unfortunately I had to find it on Pinterest, but it is God dang it, this stupid thing. Sorry. It's basically, I don't want to do that because that's copyright. I cannot get the pull up, but long and short of it is, here we go. Here's official art. All right. So there's Fulgrim and Lorgar duking it out. Actually, that might be somebody's drawing. If it is, mad props to whoever did that. Anyways, you see Fulgrim right there. And sure enough, that's him fighting Lorgar. That is a big serpent winged body with multiple arms, wielding 3 swords, and back over behind his left shoulder, you can see the hand with the whip. So, and you add in the redacted, and we knew that the Emperor's children were going to be involved in this next book in Psychic Awakening 2. So, yay, that is some more confirmation, and it's not even confirmation that it's just a rumor, blah blah blah. No, I mean it's full on information that is in the Psychic Awakening book. I mean that's around, like I said, it could be page 24, 22, 14, somewhere around there. It's a sidebar. You'll see it, and then you'll know I'm telling the truth. So more indication that the Grand Cacophony, that the Emperor's Children, and Fulgrim are on their way. Does that mean we're going to see them with Psychic Awakening 2? No, that does not mean that. But it is a damn good chance. It is a damn good chance. And it's a very good chance that we're going to see the traders kind of getting a huge boost. And then near the middle to the end of the Psychic Awakening, we're going to see things start to flip around and Imperium start to push back. I think we're going to start seeing a new storytelling where humanity is actually going to start coming to the front, to the fore, and we're going to see a nice turn around because we're at about 200 years after Gilliman returned and the big split in the universe or the galaxy and everything. So I think we're going to start seeing a turnaround near the end of this, but we still have a lot of information that we don't know yet. So yeah, Demon Primarch Fulgrim, thank you. So that's more confirmation of what we're going to see. Now, I've said before that Black Templar are going to be in this next book. I should pull that back. I'm going to redact some of that myself or retcon some of that. It is my belief that they're going to show up in there. I don't know if it'll be a box set. It right now could very well be just a bunch of characters, kind of like what they did this time. It might not be a box set of Emperor's Children versus Black Templar. I don't know what's going to happen. We knew that Black Templar, or we don't know. We had very strong indication that Black Templar were going to be in a upcoming box set. We all assumed it was going to be something along the lines of Hell's Reach or Armageddon with them against orcs. That is now kind of pushed back, actually just kind of thrown out, just like the Imperium versus Dark Angels box set just got tossed out. And please, Games Workshop, don't decide to do that and screw over my saying that there's not going to be a Dark Angels versus Imperium box. I know you wouldn't do that because what am I? I'm just a bug on the windshield in your guys' life. But please, please, please don't like all of a sudden change your mind on that. So that is a lot of solid information, solid, genuine, factual information that we just got about the storyline and more indicators. And watch, ladies and gents, just watch. We are probably going to see the Rumorville explode on the scene about ethereal Stern returning. The Fulgrim model, which some of us have a source that says that, you know, a really reliable source that they have actually witnessed the 3D imaging of Fulgrim. So cool, and that's a fairly reliable source. Does that mean he's coming out right now? No. So we have confirmation that Stern is around, and we're going to probably see people with fan theories. And I heard it from my uncle's friend that works at a Games Workshop in Alabama, and him and his sister, after their wedding, they were talking about it, and they talked to another GW rep that said Stern is going to be in the next box set, and it's going to have Lionel Johnson in it and all this other stuff. We don't know, guys. We have no idea. Nobody knows. They are really keeping this close to the chest. But we're now have enough information from all the books that we can start piecing this together. So between the books and the little short stories they've been putting up there, we've got a pretty good picture. My personal hope and wish is that they do go ahead and make a Stern model that is a psyker. If this is all about the Psychic Awakening, everybody should have something to combat psychic powers. And currently, unless something changed, Sisters of Battle don't have anything like that. They have nothing to fight against psychic powers. So maybe one of their prayers, acts of faith, maybe. But this would be really cool if she becomes a model, a usable model. And it won't be just some rules, and make your own. GW is done doing that. If there's going to be rules, it's going to be a miniature, and vice versa. They're not going to be doing that anymore where they're putting out models without rules or you got me. So then we're also going to probably be hearing some crazy ass rumors about Emperor's Children. Nothing we can do about it now. Between myself, Kirioth, Valric, and Valric, you're going to see this stuff just exploding on the scene. Watch tomorrow, watch Thursday, and you're going to see a lot of people talking about all this. I guarantee it. It's probably going to be up on Spiky Bits. It's probably going to be on Bell of Lost Souls within, I'm almost tempted just to go on. I am tempted to go on there right now. Let's go and see if they're even talking about it. But we're going to see that stuff. Now, it's probably time. I've already drilled on about this. I want to pass on some information concerning the... before I get on to the deep, dark web stuff, I mentioned to you guys before that what was I going to say? Goodness. I totally lost my train of thought. Before I get into the dark net stuff, heck, I already forgot my train of thought. Oh, well. Let's get on before Black Templars. All right, so we actually have things are really wonky. Those of us that have sources, I'm trying to think of how to word this. Those of us that have sources are getting a lot of mixed information. I have yet to have that mixed information yet. Oh, sorry, the screen might have froze up there because I had actually clicked on Spiky Bits, and that place is a dark hole of clickbait that slows down your computer's performance. Sorry about that. Anyways, we've got conflicting information from solid sources. Some of those sources are saying, look, there's not going to be a box set with Black Templars and Emperor's Children. Oh, but there is going to be these characters. No, there's not going to be these characters, but there is going to be a box set. So it's really up in the air. And as we get closer to the date, probably the next 2 or 3 weeks, after we get past this wonderful OCR Bone Reaper release and the Maw Eater belly gut guys, I cannot remember. Hopefully Ski will correct me on what the ogres are called. I know that it's Ogre, or basically ogres, but wait for his jump on there, like, stop butchering the name, John. So after we get through a couple weeks of that, and we get through the Sisters of Battle release, there's going to be little snippets in here and there, and I imagine in the next 3 weeks we're going to see the first of the Maw tribes. Thanks, Ski. We're going to see the first, in about 3 weeks, we're going to see the first of the sneak peeks of Psychic Awakening 2. Probably about 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to go over a lot of Age of Sigmar and then Sisters of Battle, and then we'll finally start really dipping into Psychic Awakening. Now, the last thing before I get into this really nasty rumors, there's Essen Spiel, I think, is coming up on Thursday, and expect there to be some leaks that day. Let's see if it's on the community page. I believe it is. Yes. Preview. Oh yeah. Hey, previews coming in on Essen Spiel. I think that's what it's called. It's not letting me click, but Spiel, I imagine it's going to be around 9 a.m. or 3 p.m. depending on what time they want to release it, but they haven't said what time, so expect that. And as soon as we have it, even if I'm at work and I'm going to get in trouble with the bosses, I will do an immediate 10-minute show. I'll clock out and just do like a 10-15 minute show, unless it's stuff about Age of Sigmar. I'm going to leave that for Ski. Everything else I will cover. All right, so let's get on with these nasty, gross rumors. I mean, I'm going to take a shower after this because they come from an okay source. No offense, dude. But I think I know where he got the information from. I have to do the research a little bit more because I got it maybe about an hour and a half ago, and I didn't take time to cross-reference it because I was eating and cleaning and whatnot. So we're going to cover relics, warlord traits, and more relics, it looks like. Yes. So, as I mentioned before, what we're seeing with the explosion of psychic abilities in Space Marines, we're going to see that carry over into everybody's going to see something amazing happening in their edition. And not even just the psychic powers, but the explosion of the, we'll use their term, power level, the potency, all these upgrades and adjustments they've been getting, the potency of Space Marines that they have gotten after nearly 2 years of being kind of meh. They finally got that boost that makes them a force to be reckoned with, and a very deserving. And what a lot of people I try to hammer it home, and I'm like, guys, stop complaining. They just got their boost, much needed boost that they have deserved, especially being the flagship brand of Games Workshop. They finally got this boost that's also tying in with the Psychic Awakening and how they're advancing the storyline. And the final thing that I've been trying to drill into people's head, and they don't seem to get it, is, okay, cool. Thanks, Key. Thing I'm trying to drill into people's head without rambling too much here is that your codexes, not the Psychic Awakening campaign books, throw those out of your mind. Those, I mean, buy them at your local friendly gaming store like Atomic Hobby Shop. But push those out of your mind, because those aren't codexes. Those are not a codex. Even though they have a codex worth of material in them, it's not a codex. Your codexes, when they drop, are going to be absolutely amazing. Do you think that all of a sudden, all the what people call the power creep that has been happening to everybody over the course of 8th edition is suddenly going to disappear at the advent of this Space Marine Codex? Really? Have you not learned anything from Games Workshop, ladies and gents? Absolutely, they're going to be and I hate the term, power creep, OP, nerf. Those are horrible words, and they might make a point, but they're bad words, guys. They are basically like saying the C word or the N word in a sense. In a sense, I'm speaking a little metaphorically here, but they're words that incite and kind of really they screw with your brain pan. They screw with your opponent's brain pan, and it really gets people angry and morose. I'm trying to think of all the different verbs and adjectives I could use. Change the mentality, change the words that you're using. Adjustments instead of nerfs. Instead of OP, say, oh, they got a nice upgrade. I mean, it sounds silly, but the change is good. So I'm going to stop there because I'm starting to get sidetracked. You are getting your upgrades. Don't pay attention to what you're seeing in the Psychic Awakening. That's just a touch, a tidbit of what you're going to get. That stuff will translate over. But as we've seen from Vigilus Ablaze and Vigilus Defiant, that those rules, when they make it over to a codex, they get improvements or they get added. So your stuff is coming. Just sit back and wait. Let somebody else have some fun with their armies, guys and gals. So let's get on with the Eldar relics. All right, let me take a drink because there's not that much. I've got probably about a dozen things to cover here. And then I'm going to talk about Marvel Crisis Protocol. So I know where some of these items have come from. So the Celestial Lance looks like this is from my one of my sources, not the absolute best source, but a source nonetheless. That is relative. I shouldn't say, it's not that they're a bad person. It's just sometimes wherever they're getting their information, it's a little rough. So Celestial Lance, it's going to be a melee / ranged weapon, high strength profile, short range or low range. So that in the past, that means less than 12 inches. So probably 8 inches or 8 or 10 inches. High AP. And when he puts high AP, that's at least a 3, sometimes a 4. So Wraith Forge Stone. It is an ability that regain lost wounds. That is probably, a high-end Feel No Pain, probably like a 4-up. Might be a 5-up, but 4-up, 5-up. And then Spear of Toothless, I don't know, man. It's an Eldar name. Actually, it looks a little bit like Celtic, like Tua. Hell, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Anyways, think of a long range melta weapon, 18 inches is what he put here, and it's also a melee weapon. So it says treated as a 18-inch melta and melee. So that means it's going to be pretty gosh darn brutal. And it's psyker only. So, or not psyker only. It says warlock only. So pretty cool. We'll see if that works. We'll see if that ends up being true. Yes, that is all that he gave me for those relics. There was some other information, but the way that we send information, I've got to piece it together. I think he's being needlessly cryptic, but I've got to, I still got to try to do it. Upcoming Warlord traits. Now, these actually, I suspected he put Eldar Warlord traits, but looking at the names and some of the cross referencing I did do, is that I think these are actually Dark Eldar Warlord traits. There's 3 of them. They're all Master something. So Master Artisan, which grants feel no pain to units within X range, probably 3 to 6 inches. And it's probably just a single unit, not every unit within 6 inches, but who knows with them. And being Master Artisan, it's probably, what do you call it? Homunculus. Sorry. The Homunculus. So it probably only plays to the Homunculus covens or whatever they're called. Then Master Regenicist. Get back up after being reduced to 0 wounds. We've seen a relic like this popping up in nearly every codex. So get back up on a 4-up with like D3 wounds or something. That would fit the Homunculus. I could go with that. And Master Symphonius. I'm just going to say Symphony. I don't think that's definitely not right, but increases the AP of melee weapons. So probably theirs and or 1 unit within 6 inches or something like that. I don't know. Remember, salt. Add some salt. Not the good salt. This is bad salt. Like bath salts, bad salt. And please do not snort bath salts. I know somebody from my days as an investigator in the Marine Corps that took that and they went into a coma. I don't know if they ever came out. So don't do bath salts. But that's how salty these rumors are. They could put you in a coma. So then a couple of Dark Eldar relics. Orb of Despair. He says single use, high strength. So probably like near strength 8, strength 10. 1 use only, high AP. So my guess is -4 AP, and it does mortal wounds. So it's probably only hit 1 unit, causes maybe mortal wounds on a 4-up or something like that to each model in the unit or something. That's my guess right there. But he says high strength, high AP. So now we're looking at strength 8, 9, 10, and probably. Definitely AP -3, probably AP -4. I doubt AP -5. I don't think I've encountered a single item that has AP -5, unless maybe one of the Warlord Titans weapons does that. All right, there's a Klavex relic, is what he's calling it. Big boost to damage, and he says it's Drazar type weapon. So we've seen stuff like that before. People, special characters have like a awesome Thunderhammer. Like we know that Thunderhammer on Captain Agatone for the Salamanders is going to be like a 4 damage weapon, I believe. And then you can take a master crafted Thunderhammer, and now you've got another person running around with a 4 damage Thunderhammer. So this is probably just a way to get another high damage weapon for your Incubi, which it makes sense. They're going to want to push those Incubi when that Dark Eldar book comes out. And then the last one that he mentioned was Nightmare Doll. And he said, think Voodoo Doll, LOL. Probably reduce amount of wounds taken to a minimum of 1. Makes sense. We've seen other relics like this and Warlord traits. So that could be good, especially if you're running, especially if they're going to be concentrating on given the covens, the cabals, and the cults, witch cults. I think that's what they are, witch covens. A lot of uniqueness, very similar to what we're seeing with the Space Marine supplements, which brings us to the last little bit that he mentioned, that the Eldar, Dark Eldar, are going to be getting something similar to Space Marines. And what you'll see is the kind of uniformed book, like the Space Marine Codex, and then one or more of the factions are going to get a supplement. So he mentioned Allenden before, which there is precedence for that, which I will get to on the next show once I crack through all the rest of this information. I didn't want to reveal until I can kind of verify some of it and do some cross-referencing. So I'm running fast on time here. And the other one is with the Dark Eldar. You'll have a core Dark Eldar book, so there's your $40, and then you're going to have the $30 supplements. So one will be about the Cabals, one which I think actually will be the main book, will be about the Cabals, and then books 2 are there'll be the Witch Cult and the Homunculus Coven. I might be getting those names wrong. I know it's witches and homunculus, but I think they might both be covens. Don't quote me on that part. But we're going to be seeing, from what he is saying, we're going to see that. I'm going to give him close to a 50% likelihood that that's true. I mean, we have some precedents for that. I'm using that word a lot right now, but we definitely have we can definitely reasonably assume that that's going to be happening. Is that going to be happening for every book? I don't think so. I don't think, when orcs roll around, we're all of a sudden going to be seeing a Speed Freaks or Evil Sons or a Goth supplements. But I think we will see everybody getting some sort of supplement to boost the range, which means that if they don't have a character yet, they do not have a special character, then that book is going to reveal a special character for each of those supplements, because they're going to want to put units and they're going to want new models in those books, so you can form a coherent army out of that supplement. Is this happening? Don't know. Is it reasonable? Yes. And the source has been reliable in the past. Most of the time it's 50-50 with the information. He's usually right about, hey, this is coming, and it's the follow-on information is usually a little bit more on the speculatory side. Sorry, dude, it's true. But we've talked about that before, so I'm not naming you. So I don't feel bad. So, sorry. So it's very reasonable we're going to see these supplements in the future. When? I don't know. Are they all going to have characters in it? Very likely, because that's the bandwagon that Games Workshop is on right now. They want to include new models, I think, with each of these books. We've seen it so far, and we're now 6 books in. 6 books in to the Codex supplements for the Space Marines. So expect that to come. So Emperor's Children probably going to be next year. We'll probably see World Eaters also next year, or within the next 2 years with this cycle, before we get into probably the official 9th edition or somewhere in between. Space Marines right now, it looks like this is 8.5, and it's set up for the next edition. So we're essentially seeing the next edition. So maybe even next year, next summer, when we're seeing like book 4 for Psychic Awakening, book 4, book 5, we're going to see possibly a new edition. That would put us at the 4-year mark? No, 3-year mark. Who knows? I don't know. I'm speculating now. I have about 20 seconds left. So I covered a lot of janky stuff here just recently. And like I said, don't snort the bath salts. It's for the bath. But it's that level of, near that level, I'd say near that level of saltiness until we get a little bit of information, but it's not unreasonable. Ethereal, I'm going to say ethereal, similar to ethereal, ethereal. Let's go with the ethereal Stern. Has shown up essentially in all but name in the Psychic Awakening 2. Probably going to be arriving in Psychic Awakening 1. Probably going to be arriving in Psychic Awakening 2. Black Templars might not be getting as much as we thought. There is a lot of back and forth now between all of our sources. Chapter Master Valor, Kirioth, myself, and a few others. And it is getting a little crazy. I don't know. So I'm hoping we see some things. When we know that Emperor's Children are coming, thanks to Psychic Awakening 1, we have confirmation that they are in the story, and all but in name confirmation that Fulgrim is now out and about. So, and I'm going to be taking a look at whatever the Nadum Psychana is and see what we can dig up. Nothing. There is nothing in the lore currently to support Nodum Psychana. So I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to find out. So with that being said, my name is John. I'm with FMP Wargamers. Make sure you hit the, let's see here, trying to get my finger right. Hit the subscribe button. I think it's right up here-ish. Here, if you, or follow button, make sure you get the notification set up. If you're a Patreon supporter, Patreon button's down there. If you want to be a Patreon supporter, there are benefits. Just follow the link, you'll see. If you're on YouTube, man, jump over to Twitch, watch our show. We've got, between Ski and myself, we've got a couple interesting shows coming up, and there's going to be an extreme possibility of prize support or prize giveaways. And I did not talk about Marvel Crisis Protocol. You guys have heard me talk about it before. I've actually, as I'm sitting here, I got a message on Messenger that I'm going to be getting some sneak peek pics. So yay. So I'm going to hold off for this show, and I might end up doing one tomorrow, or I'll wait till Sunday. If you get a chance, go to atomicmassgames.com and check out this really awesome miniatures game that's coming out from Atomic Mass Games. And you will see some incredible plastic miniatures that I wish would blow up here. About 32 millimeter scale. This game plays ridiculously fast. You're only going to be having about 4 to 5 people on your team, and I think 5 at most, and it's going to be really freaking awesome. In fact, if you want to take, they've actually been very kind, and let's see if I can find it. They got a tab up here. You can actually download a printable or digital version of the rule book and start reading about how to play the game right now. I highly suggest you give it a try, especially if you're burnt out on some Games Workshop game product like Warhammer 40,000, or maybe you've been hitting it hard with Underworlds and you just need to take a break. Well, we got a tiny game that you can try, and it lends itself to being more of an organized play, and it really just going to break the monotony of the grimdark future or the high fantasy of Age of Sigmar. And you can just take a break, ladies and gents. You can just take a break. So, anyways, I've gone on way too long here. My name is John. I'm with FNP Wargamers. Thank you, Ski, and everybody else that got on. And last thing, just looking at Lieutenants for All Armies. Yes, there's probably going to be Lieutenants for All Armies. God dang it. I swear to God, if that box set, the next Space Marine box set that comes out, or the dueling box or battle box, and there's a gosh darn lieutenant in there, I'm probably going to table flip. I'm going to have to set up a table so I can just flip it, because I don't want to ruin everything I've got working on here. But I'm going to table flip, damn it. So please, no more lieutenants, Games Workshop. Give us our Plastic Emperor's Champion, and give us a gosh darn Loyalist Primarch. All right. My name is John. I'm with FMP Wargamers. Thank you for watching. YouTube folks, jump on over to Twitch. Enjoy the show. Thanks, Ski, for chatting with us. Thanks for everybody that's watching and hitting those views. Watch for an announcement on our Facebook page about some upcoming contests we're going to be having, or giveaways, and some charity events. We're working on getting that to launch, and it's going to be an amazing thing. And it's going to be, both of them are going to be supporting some good organizations. So with that said, enjoy the rest of your week. Tomorrow's Wednesday.